If you've ever been told you're too emotional or too sensitive, this video might change everything you thought about yourself. What if I told you that the thing people criticize you for is actually a rare trait that only a small percentage of the population has? Picture this. You're watching a commercial about a dog finding its owner and suddenly you're tearing up. Or maybe someone raises their voice at you and before you can stop it, your eyes are welling up. And in that moment, you feel embarrassed, weak, like something's wrong with you. But here's what nobody's telling you. That response, it's not random, and it's definitely not a character flaw. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Crying easily is often linked to a personality trait called sensory processing sensitivity, or SPS. Researchers estimate that only 20 to 35% of people have this trait. That means if you cry easily, you're not in the majority. You're in a select group of people whose nervous systems are wired differently. Your brain processes information more thoroughly, picks up on subtleties others miss, and even responds to emotional stimuli more intensely. Now let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain when those tears start flowing. When you encounter something emotional, whether it's a sad story, a beautiful sunset, or even just someone being kind to you, your limbic system kicks into high gear. This is the emotional center of your brain, and for people who cry easily, it has what scientists call increased reactivity. Research suggests that people who cry easily often show higher emotional reactivity in the brain, meaning emotional signals are felt more intensely. At the same time, their nervous system may be less inclined to automatically suppress those responses. But here's the interesting part. This isn't about lacking control. It's about a nervous system that allows emotional signals to surface instead of automatically shutting them down. Let me break down the 3 primary psychological reasons why some people cry more easily than others. First, there's emotional depth. People who cry easily don't just feel emotions on the surface. They experience them in layers. When you watch a movie and cry, you're not just sad about the plot. You're connecting it to your own experiences, empathizing with the characters on a profound level, and processing multiple emotional threads simultaneously. Your tears reflect deeper emotional processing and a strong capacity for empathy. Second, there's something called emotional contagion, and people who cry easily are masters at it. This is your brain's ability to sync up with other people's emotional states. Neural systems involved in empathy activate when you see others feel emotion, and for some people, that emotional resonance is especially strong. You don't just observe someone's pain or joy, you absorb it. You feel it as if it's your own. This is why you can walk into a room and immediately sense the tension, or why you tear up when someone else is crying, even if you don't know why they're upset. Third is the factor of emotional honesty. Society teaches us to mask our feelings, to maintain composure, to keep it together, but your nervous system didn't get that memo. When you cry easily, it's often because your body refuses to lie. Your tears are a form of truth-telling. They bypass all the social scripts and protective layers we build up and reveal what's actually happening inside you. In a world full of people performing emotions they don't feel and hiding emotions they do, your tears show your honesty. Here's something I want you to consider. Have you ever noticed that after a good cry, you feel better? There's a science behind that. Emotional tears contain stress hormones like cortisol and endorphins. When you cry, you're releasing these chemicals from your body. Crying is part of your body's natural stress regulation system. Consistently suppressing emotions is associated with higher stress levels and slower emotional recovery. Fortunately for you, you're processing and releasing them. You're not weak for crying. You're efficient at stress management. Crying in front of others, especially in professional settings or during conflict, can feel humiliating. You might have been told you're manipulative or that you're using tears to get your way. Let me be clear, they're gaslighting you. For most people who cry easily, tears aren't a manipulation tactic. They're an involuntary physiological response, and anyone who tells you otherwise is uncomfortable with their own emotions or trying to control yours. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for having a normal human response to emotional stimuli. Here's where things get really interesting. Research in organizational psychology has found that leaders who show appropriate vulnerability, including occasionally tearing up during meaningful moments, are often rated as more authentic and trustworthy by their teams. Your tears don't undermine your authority. They humanize you. They signal to others that you're genuine, that you care deeply, and that you're not performing a role. In a professional world increasingly focused on authentic leadership and emotional intelligence, the ability to access and express your emotions is an asset. There's also a gender component to people who cry easily. Women who cry easily are often dismissed as hormonal or irrational, while men who cry easily are told to man up. Both of these responses are toxic. Your tears have nothing to do with your worth, rationality, or strength, and have everything to do with how your unique nervous system processes the world. That system doesn't care about gender stereotypes. Let me share something powerful with you. People who cry easily often develop something psychologists call affect tolerance. This is your ability to sit with difficult emotions without needing to immediately escape or numb them. Because you allow yourself to cry, you're regularly practicing emotional processing instead of avoidance. Over time, this builds emotional resilience. You become someone who can handle intense emotions, both your own and others, without falling apart. Yes, you might cry in the moment, but you recover faster, you process deeper, and you emerge stronger than people who avoid their emotions entirely. Here's the big takeaway from all of this. If you cry during arguments, it means you care about the relationship and the outcome matters to you. If you cry during movies, it means you have a rich inner world and powerful capacity for empathy. If you cry when you're overwhelmed, it means you're human and your body is trying to help you regulate. Your tears are not a flaw in your design. They're proof that your emotional system is alive, responsive, and working exactly as nature intended. In a world that feels increasingly disconnected and numb, your ability to feel deeply and cry freely is not just normal, it's necessary. So the next time someone tells you you're too sensitive, remember this. Sensitivity isn't weakness, it's awareness, and awareness is power. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment telling me about a time you've cried and felt embarrassed, but now see differently. I read every comment and would love to hear your story.